Have you ever wondered how far humans can go when power, fear, and authority replace mercy? History is not only made of great leaders, revolutions, and victories. Hidden beneath those stories lies a much darker truth. A time when justice meant pain and punishment meant slow, deliberate suffering. In today's video, we are exploring the top 10 capital punishments so brutal, so inhumane, that they have been banned by modern civilization. These punishments were not myths. They were real, they were legal, and thousands of people died under them. Viewer discretion is advised. This video is not meant to glorify violence. It is meant to expose the darkest chapters of human history so we never repeat them. Let's begin. Number 10. Lynching. Death by 1,000 cuts. Imagine being fully conscious while pieces of your body are sliced away, slowly, deliberately, one cut at a time. This execution method was known as lynching, or death by 1,000 cuts. Practiced in China from 900 AD until 1905, lynching was reserved for crimes considered unforgivable: treason, murder, and crimes against the emperor. Executioners would carefully cut small portions of flesh from the victim's body over an extended period of time. The goal was not quick death. The goal was maximum suffering. In some cases, victims were given small doses of opium to keep them conscious but barely able to resist. Eventually, death came from shock, blood loss, or organ failure. In 1905, China officially abolished lynching, marking the end of one of the most horrific punishments in history. Number 9. Crucifixion, death on the cross. Crucifixion is most famously associated with the execution of Jesus Christ, but long before and after him, this punishment was widely used by the Roman Empire. Victims were nailed or tied to a wooden cross, their arms stretched outward, their feet fixed in place. Once raised upright, the victim's own body weight made breathing increasingly difficult. Death usually occurred due to suffocation, extreme exhaustion, dehydration, or severe blood loss. Sometimes victims survived for days, enduring unbearable pain under the sun. Crucifixion was not only an execution, it was a public warning. 8. Premature burial, buried alive. Being buried alive taps into one of humanity's deepest fears. Premature burial was not always accidental. In many cultures, it was a deliberate execution method. Used from ancient Rome to the Nanking Massacre, this punishment took many forms. Some victims were bound and buried face down in mud, buried upright in deep pits, or placed upside down before earth was piled on top. Death came slowly, through suffocation, panic, or crushing pressure, with no escape, no light, and no air. This punishment was designed to terrify not only the victim, but anyone who witnessed it. 7. Pressing, death by crushing. During the Salem witch trials, one name became legendary: Giles Corey. Accused of witchcraft, he refused to confess. As punishment, Corey was laid on the ground, and heavy stones were placed on his chest, one by one. The pressure increased until breathing became impossible. According to legend, his final words were, "More weight." Death by pressing was also used in parts of Asia, where elephants were sometimes employed to crush condemned prisoners. This method turned the human body into a breaking point. 6. Boiled to death, execution by scalding. Boiling alive was practiced in England, Scotland, Japan. Victims were placed into large cauldrons filled with water, oil, or tar. Sometimes the liquid was already boiling. Other times the fire was lit afterward, slowly raising the temperature. The result was horrifying: severe burns, skin peeling, organ failure. Extreme shock. This punishment was meant to be public, ensuring that fear spread faster than sympathy. Number 5. Sawing, cut in half while alive. Death by sawing is one of the most controversial punishments in history. The victim was typically hung upside down, secured in place. Executioners then used a handsaw to cut the body apart, often starting at the groin or waist. Because blood rushed to the head, victims sometimes remained conscious longer than expected. Although some historians debate its frequency, records suggest it was used in Europe, Asia, the Americas. If true, it stands among the most brutal executions ever conceived. Number 4. Drawing and quartering. Dismemberment. Officially abolished in England in 1870, drawing and quartering was once reserved for high treason. There were two main methods. One involved tying the victim's limbs to 4 horses running in opposite directions. The other, known as hung, drawn, and quartered, included dragging the victim to the execution site, hanging them until near death, then cutting the body into 4 parts. The punishment symbolized the ultimate destruction of both body and reputation. Number 3. Burning at the stake. Death by fire. Burning at the stake is forever linked to witchcraft hysteria. Across Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries, thousands of men and women were executed this way. The punishment was also used for heresy, treason, sexual crimes, incest, homosexuality. Victims were tied to wooden stakes, surrounded by fuel, and set on fire in front of crowds. Burning was not just execution, it was intimidation through spectacle. Number 2. Beheading, decapitation. Beheading may sound ancient, but it still exists in the modern world. While banned in most countries, it is still used in Saudi Arabia for crimes such as murder, rape, armed robbery, drug trafficking. In recent history, extremist groups like ISIS use public beheadings as propaganda tools. Though often portrayed as instant, beheading was not always painless, depending on the method and executioner. Number 1. Hanging, the most enduring execution. Hanging is perhaps the most recognizable form of capital punishment in history. Used for centuries across the world, death occurred through strangulation or neck fracture from a sudden drop. Although largely abandoned in the United States, the last known hanging took place in 1996. Today, most countries prefer lethal injection, a method designed to appear more humane. But hanging remains a powerful symbol of historical justice systems. These punishments remind us how easily justice can become cruelty when empathy is removed. Modern laws are far from perfect, but they exist to prevent the horrors of the past. History's darkest punishments teach us one crucial lesson. Human rights were born from human suffering. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. Which punishment shocked you the most, and why?